and my man, John Buckets-Ima. If you are looking for best bets in the beautiful game of soccer, you have come to the right place, because the betting expert, the unicorn, the fucking blonde bombshell, John Buckets-Ima is here with us. How are you doing, Buckets?
Ian, I'm doing well. The blonde bombshell is a little bit more blonde than usual, everybody. I'm not saying it's for someone special, but I feel like the hair's looking really good today, IPJ.
Yo, I thought it was fucking Eminem rolling in here, man. What is going on with that haircut? Let's explain. Okay, you go to the barber and you say, hey, you know what? I'm looking to do something different this week. What is it that you're asking for from your barber? And also the second question would be, how long do you sit in the chair?
So I go to the barber, and my barber is this wonderful, wonderful woman, and I say, hey, insert name here. I told her, do whatever the hell you want. Do what you think will make me look the absolute best for stoppage time. And she said, Buckets, I got you. And then I sat in a chair for 3 hours while I waited for all of this, Ian, to happen.
3 fucking hours, man. 3 hours. I wish I had 3 hours. In fact, recently I did have 3 hours, because you know what myself and Hot Coco did? Do you know what we did? We joined the elite. We joined a country club local to us where we live, which shall not be named, but we joined a fucking country club. I'm just taking myself back to the young little boy that grew up in Scotland in a fucking crazy, crazy town, to now the boy who's joined a country club. I'm actually joining it because I love to play golf, but at the same time, social life is also pretty good. Who'd have thought it, Buckets? IPJ in a country club? Do you think they would accept me?
Nobody thought they'd accept you, Ian, but I thought you were going to say is, you know what Hot Coco and I do that takes 3 hours? And I thought we were going to have another weird shower, porn, whatever scene going on. But congratulations on the country club. I know you're a big golfer, so you've been out already then, hitting the links?
I played 1 game of golf, 9 holes, shot a 39 for everybody out there who enjoys golf and understands what 39 actually means. Yeah, I haven't played golf for about 20 months. As you know, I've been struggling with my neck and my back with pain for the last 20 months because of apparently pushing life too much and stress, and apparently working too much. Now I'm working a lot less and taking care of my physical condition. I'm back out on the golf course, and I got a birdie. Do you know what a birdie is?
A birdie is 1 stroke under par. Ian, you might not know this, but I enjoy a little bit of golf myself.
Now, the question would be, do you wager on golf, Buckets?
I will sometimes bet a first-round leader. I've never hit a golf bet, but it's fun to throw, a couple bucks on a plus 2,500 every now and then.
Well, the Masters are coming up this weekend, so everybody out there, please make sure you jump on and have a little wager on the Masters. Now, Buckets, we want to get to some of the loyal listener comments real quickly before we start the show, because there was a debate about the war cry as to who should be the better fix or better person to do the war cry, because last week's episode, Hot Coco started the show, and then IPJ came in. Buckets, you didn't even bother doing a war cry. Producer Jeff has never been heard of before, but there's a few interesting comments right here, Buckets. You ready for them?
Let's do it.
Let's go to Gizo. He jumps in and says, Hot Coco all the time. Interesting. Good start.
Good start.
Then we go to Never Per Mal. He says, IPJ should always start the war cry. I fucking agree. Just throwing it out there. Mary Promise jumped in and said, love the show and the spirit of the show. Hot Coco all day. And then we got the best comment about the war cry. This one came in from Dominic D. That's what we need. A war cry off. All 3 of you, and let producer Jeff give it 1 as well. Yeah, baby. Now, Buckets, I am actually intrigued by that comment, because I feel like it's necessary for myself, for you, Hot Coco, and producer Jeff to have a little bit of a war cry off. We're not going to do it this episode, but I feel like we should all record a war cry next week, and then we'll put it to the vote. Let everybody decide who does the war cry from then on out. What do you think?
Absolutely. If Jeff is doing it, then I'm doing it too, Ian. And I'm not going to set odds. I'm not going to stress anyone out. But just know that Buckets to win this war cry off is hovering around plus 105 right now.
I can guarantee you that producer Jeff will not be doing the war cry. I have never heard him shout, scream, or anything that goes above a 0 tone ever in his life. He is a quiet human being. Obviously makes noise outside of being quiet in his own life. He is not someone who screams a lot. Let's just put it that way. Buckets, let's get through the weekend review from your bets. You had a great show. Obviously, there are some games still going on as we record this one, with the Champions League taking place on this fine Wednesday as we record. But let's go through the other bets that took place, because Buckets, you were back and back in a big way.
Yeah, we had a nice little bounce back here, but we started with one of our few losses. We were on that Liverpool versus Sheffield United match. We took Mo Salah to have an assist, and he was pulled off in the 60th minute when it was drawn 1-1. So we're going to start with an X on that first one, and I saw the comments. I saw the chats, the murmurs saying, oh no, another bad week for Buckets. And I told all of you, shut up, because Friday we went to the fine Bundesliga and that matchup between Paderborn and Hertha Berlin, and I gave us all 2 wagers on that one game. Paderborn over 1.5 team total and Hertha over 1.5 team total, and both of those hit in an absolute cracker of a game there, Ian. I was actually in the salon chair watching that game on my phone. I was telling my artist, I was like, hey, you see that 1 turn into a 2? Yeah, baby, let's go. Saturday, we went to Bournemouth versus Luton Town. Both teams to score and over 2.5. An absolute staple when you're betting Luton Town, and it did indeed cash. Sunday, Ian, this is one that missed. We were on Atalanta money line and over 1.5 goals, but you told all of the listeners that you weren't sure about this one because Atalanta is a bit of a hit or miss team, and they absolutely missed as they ended up losing to Cagliari in this matchup. But Monday, an immediate bounce back with Udinese versus Inter Milan, both teams to score. Tuesday, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. We were on Real Madrid draw no bet, which pushed. I'm sure we'll talk about that one later. And do not forget, this afternoon, we have Atletico Madrid versus Jeff's mighty Dortmund. We're on Atleti over 1.5 team total at -105.
Buckets, you did incredibly well. I'm very proud of you for all the hard work that you put in there to get these bets as close to being all right as possible. At one point, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be amazing because I loved all of your bets. And I told you that this was really cool. The bets you've picked out are different. They're unique. They're diverse. You're going around the market, which I absolutely love. But I'm going to say something that I know you know because I text you straight away. The Hertha Berlin game, and Paderborn, you had said 2 bets in that game, and for some fucking stupid reason, I forgot 2 bets in that game, and I only put Hertha Berlin. And of course, when Paderborn went 2-1 up, I was like, no, I'm gonna miss this goddamn bet. Eventually cashing it with Hertha Berlin scoring 2 goals late on in the game to win it. Buckets, I also did pretty well. I was back in the win column. Are you ready for the Roman banger?
Absolutely, and let's hear it.
I was on Roma against Lazio in the Rome derby. It was a banger of a game. Roma moneyline cashed at +110. It was a fucking great game, but it was a bit closer than I expected there. Daniele De Rossi getting his first win in his first ever Rome derby as a manager of Roma, where he played over 300 games for the football club. Incredible game, close game, but it was one that I couldn't believe was still in plus numbers, Buckets.
Yeah, it was a bit of a stressful game, Ian. I tailed you on this one, but I was nervous because I don't love moneyline bets. And I believe it was around the 65th, 70th minute. I actually saw Lazio score, and it went 1-1. And for one of the only times in my life, I cheered as VAR took a look at that and pulled back the goal to make sure Roma kept that lead. But it felt, gotta be honest, I just felt dirty cheering for goals to go away. But I'm glad it worked out in our favor for this one.
Yeah, we got a little bit lucky because Mancini scored 42 minutes into the game. It was just ahead of halftime. It was a corner kick, header into the box, boom, goal. Joy Boy running around his fucking house celebrating a Roman goal against Lazio. By the way, politically, I'm on the Roma side as well. Lazio, fucking weird fans. I'm just going to throw it out there. Politically, the wrong side. I'm just throwing it out there, right? Just not very nice fans, especially when it comes to discrimination. But, of course, they do have one of my good friends and former teammate, well, not teammate, but former employee friend at NYCFC, Tati Castellanos, playing for Lazio. He came off the bench in the second half, and I thought, I just don't want you to score, Tati. I hope you don't score in this game. It ended up 1-0. Hot Coco's run continues. We jump over to her best. She was on LAFC against LA Galaxy. LAFC and LA Galaxy, both teams to score plus no draw. That also cashed. Was it plus 110, Buckets?
I believe it was -105 because I remember saying that it wasn't plus odds, but it usually is.
Yeah, -105. She cashed her ticket. You're right. It absolutely does hit. She now sits at 5-1 from the 6 bets that she's produced so far. That game was interesting because all of the goals came in the first 45 minutes. Tillman scored 4 minutes in, and then Alda pulled one back for the LA Galaxy to make it 1-1. Boanga scored a penalty kick in a penalty kick decision that should never, ever have been given. Major League Soccer No, this is not your fault. Pro referee, this is your fault. And also the referee's fault. I'm actually going to go more to the referee's decision than I am going to go for anything else. The referee fucking went to the monitor after being told that you've made maybe a mistake here on giving the penalty kick. We feel like Boanga or whoever it was dived. He clearly dived. The referee went to look at the monitor, still gave the fucking penalty kick. I was like, are you kidding me? Anyway, penalty kick was given, and of course, Hot Coco hit her bet with LAFC winning by 2-1. That game was closer than we all expected, but the Galaxy didn't play well in that game. Bucket, she is continuing to roll off on fire, Hot Coco. Another big hit for her.
Yeah, another big hit for her, and she's actually saving my bankroll in these bad weeks. I know that we had a good week this week, but last week, the only reason I had any kind of profit was because of Hot Coco Ian. So I'm just going to keep tailing her. It feels like it's too easy at this point, but she knows her stuff, that's for sure.
We saw some crazy games in the Champions League yesterday, John Bucketimer. I'll just real quickly run through what happened in the Real Madrid against Manchester City game. That finished 3-3. I don't need to explain anything else other than every single goal was a phenomenal finish, either into the top corner or silky skills into the back of the net. That game was absolutely wild. And Buckets, that game produces goals. Over the last 5 games head-to-head, if I'm not mistaken, it's now 23 goals between the two clubs head-to-head, which is absolutely insane. And guess what? We've got another leg to go next week.
Yeah, we do. And we're going to be betting on goals in that other leg next week here, because I know that people always say, the first leg was crazy, which means the second leg won't be. That is not how it works. There is just too much talent on both ends of the pitch here. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw another 2-2, 3-2 kind of shootout next week.
Yeah, that was a kind of a crazy game, but I'm going to say this. Phil Foden's goal was absolutely fucking phenomenal. That was probably my favorite goal. What did you think? I know Valverde's volley at the end to make it level was pretty crazy. What did you think of the goals? I
thought they were all amazing. We had multiple golazzos in that matchup. I personally liked Valverde's goal just a little bit more because I was on Real Madrid, draw no bet, so it gave me kind of, at least that push in that game. But what a stressful game from a betting perspective. If you had no money on this game, you were probably the real winner because you could just enjoy that, but you just kept seeing stuff move back and forward. It can be tough when you're betting on these.
Well, Real Madrid obviously went down a goal. We were seconds into this game. Bernardo Silva scored 2 minutes in, caught the goalkeeper Lunin off guard, wasn't watching. Silva has scored 3 goals against Real Madrid in his last 3 shots against Real Madrid, which is crazy. Ruben Diaz got credited with an own goal to make it 1-1. Camavinga took the shot. Rodrigo, he made it 2-1 to Real Madrid. He is having a great season, Rodrigo. No one's really talking about the 23-year-old. He's absolutely brilliant. 10 goals in La Liga, 1 in Copa del Rey, 1 in Supercopa, and now 4 in the Champions League, which is ridiculous. There was 1 minute and 53 seconds between those Real Madrid goals, and I can only imagine, Buckets, it got you off your chair just a little bit because you were down a goal, 1 minute and 53 seconds later, you're now up a fucking goal.
I was taking Freya on a walk at the beginning of this game, and I missed the first 20 minutes, so I literally opened my phone to see we had 3 goals, and I said, what happened? But Ian, how crazy is this? We had a game between Real Madrid and Manchester City where you have Vinny Jr., Jude Bellingham, and Haaland on the pitch, and none of them scored in a game that had 6 goals. What?
Yeah, it was wild, man. Phil Foden did score, though. He made it 2-2 with his 22nd goals across all competitions this season, 5th in the Champions League, 15th all-time for Phil Foden in the Champions League, and probably the best goal he has ever fucking scored. Josko Gvardiol, we don't talk about him scoring much because that was his first ever Champions League goal. Get this, his first ever Champions League goal for Manchester City, scored since he scored against Manchester City for Leipzig, and the only other goal he scored in the Champions League was for Leipzig against Real Madrid. So if it's involving Leipzig, Manchester City, or Real Madrid, chances are Josko Gvardiol might get a fucking goal here. And then Federico Valverde wrapped things up to make it 3-3 and basically just cash that ticket for our John Bucketimer to push or whatever it was. But at the same time, incredible game, and that's why we live and breathe the Champions League. Now, the other game that took place, John Bucketimer, I know you were probably sweating in your seat right there. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. It was a really great game. Saka opened to score in 12 minutes in. Serge Gnabry equalised 6 minutes later. We did see Harry Kane get a penalty kick and score a penalty kick, which was an interesting decision by the goalkeeper to dive 5 seconds before Harry Kane took his fucking penalty kick to make it 2-1 to Bayern Munich. And then Trossard equalised. But Buckets, it was a phenomenal game. I just want to show you this graphic, this picture graphic, and I want you to let me know what you think about it. It says London is red, and then it's got a picture, London is white, and then it's got London is blue, and then it's got a Bayern Munich fan saying London is shit. Your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was a great game. And when you're looking at the form that Bayern Munich is in, a 2-2 draw is a phenomenal outcome when you're playing in London. And when you're playing, remember, with no fans. Bayern Munich were not allowed to have supporters inside the stadium after they got a bit too rowdy against Copenhagen. So looking at the stats, looking at the score, as a Bayern Munich fan, you have to be a little bit excited to know that you have this all drawn up coming back to Bayern Munich at Allianz for that second leg, Ian.
It really sets up two great fixtures. I mean, the Champions League did not disappoint. I was at CBS Sports Studios yesterday at the Galazzo Network working on Scoreline, and Champions League days are where it's at for me, right? You're playing in the elite competition where sometimes you see those first legs be a bit cagey. No, that wasn't the case yesterday. It was insane. Bukayo Saka, 2 goals in 2 games for him across all competitions, 4th Champions League goal this season. All 4 of his goals have come at home. Keep that in the back of your mind, potential for the semi-final. Serge Gnabry, Arsenal, that was the first time they conceded a goal at home in the Champions League this season, which is a crazy statistic to have. He is also a former Arsenal Academy player, 4 goals in his last 5 games. But he went off injured again for Bayern Munich in that game, Buckets. He has recently broken his arm, gone through illness, and damaged his hamstring. And it looked like he damaged his hamstring again to be taken off the field. Kane stepped up. 15 goals he has scored in 20 games against the Gunners. 8 of them have been penalty kicks, which is absolutely crazy. And then Trossard came off the bench. He is only the 4th player in UEFA Champions League history to score in each of his first 4 home appearances in the competition after Del Piero, Canute, and Oscar. Bucket, second leg, you must favour Bayern Munich, surely.
You have to just a little bit here, just because it is such a home field advantage for all of these matchups that we're seeing so far in the Champions League. I've got a bet for them later on in the show, so I'll keep my thoughts, a little bit close to the chest right now, but it should be a great second leg regardless.
Death, taxes, and Buckets never betting on Bayern Munich is about to change on this episode of Stoppage Time. You ready for the loyal listener comments?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's dive in. We've got Mark jumping in and saying IPJ running like a penguin. Loves the ball busting from the former teammates. No surprise, though, that you'd want him backing you up in any situation. We've got Chris Gutierrez jumping in and saying, Ian, fucking love your energy. What energy, Buckets, is he talking about?
I have no idea what he's talking about. You? Energy? That doesn't sound like anything I know.
Producer Jeff has got more energy than me. Let's jump into Stephen Tompkins, who jumped in with a great one. I took Buckets' advice and did not place a wager on the Rangers versus Celtic game, so I could just enjoy the match. And boy, what a banger of a game it was. 3-3 draw with 3 goals scored in the last 12 minutes, including the Rangers notching the tying goal in the 93rd minute of stoppage time. You don't need to bet to enjoy the beautiful game. Besides, I already made money thanks to the MLS queen, Hot Coco. Hashtag have it. Buckets, that Old Firm game was a fucking beauty. It took us 20 seconds to get the first goal.
Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. And like we kind of talked about, I'm glad I didn't bet that either, Ian, because I definitely would not have picked a draw there. I thought someone would have gotten the decisive 3 points, but that honestly was perfect for Rangers, right? Game in hand. Now they can win the league as long as they win out.
As we record the show, Rangers have a game in hand against Dundee tonight. Of course, they could go top of the table with that game in hand. So it's very, very close. Only 1 point separating Celtic and Rangers going into that game on Wednesday evening. Obviously, by the time you guys all hear, that game will be over. There is a possibility, I'm hearing, that game might be cancelled because of weather conditions. But we've still got one more Old Firm to look forward to as we close out the season in the Scottish Prem. Something later on in the show for everybody from the Scottish Prem. Let's go to Chris Roker. He said, great show again. Love listening to IPJ stories. Also, producer Jeff doing a great job with graphics. Let's give some love to producer Jeff here. Little golf clap, Buckets. Your thoughts on producer Jeff and what he's done for our show?
I mean, he's changed the show entirely, right? He's changed the format of soccer betting shows at their very core, because now even I go back and I rewatch every single show because I know that Jeff has added graphics and he's added his little jokes and he's had fun kind of producing it to where I'm now laughing at stuff that I forgot all about when I'm rewatching the show. He's making it more than just the bets. He's adding that extra level of entertainment that we love so much.
Yeah, you got to watch very closely because there are things that producer Jeff puts in there that most people would miss if they're not actually watching every minute of our show. And And I love what you said there. He has changed the context of soccer betting content in this space. And he absolutely has.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously, listen, we all love placing a wager. We all love this business. We love soccer. We love television and media and content. It's awesome for all of us. We embrace everything. But we want to be the fucking best. We want to be different. And with him on board, we certainly are that. Let's go to Michael Haston. He said, love the show. Great thinking outside the box, having Hot Coco do the open. Bring back Hot Coco's friend too. Do you remember Single Lorne?
I remember Single Lorne. Yeah, I do.
Still single. Let's go on to Richard Gomez. Great show as always, guys, but 20 units in March. Come on. I think you guys should have a spreadsheet or some sort of tracker to show us loyal fans. Complete transparency. Also, ROI is expressed as percentage, not units, sir. LOL. Now, I can only imagine that Richard Gomez is talking to you, Buckets, there. Can you explain? Because that was a foreign language to me. What the fuck he was saying?
Yeah, he's mad that we are celebrating our good success when we have it there, Ian. No, what he's talking about is last show I said that I was up 20 units in the month of March, and I think that he assumed that that meant the show was up 20 units in the month, and that is not true. Ian and I do a lot of live betting. We do a lot of betting by ourselves. I was talking about my personal success, and if I'm being honest with you guys, I do not have time to do a spreadsheet. I cannot track everything at the level of every single wager and every single unit count. Ian and I are just too busy right now with what we're doing. So if you're tailing our bets and if you're betting responsibly, that is what matters most, because right now it's just not possible to track every single thing that we do, Ian.
We've got a legend of a loyal listener jumping in. His name is Ken Heyman. He says, what whiskey is Ian drinking on the show? Sorry to disappoint you, the legend Ken, but I was drinking an energy drink when you saw me last week. And I had it in a glass because I don't like to show the can name. It's the opponent of my team, NYCFC, so I therefore don't put it out there as production because I'm a fucking weird fan. But Buckets, do you like whiskey?
I'm not a whiskey guy, no. I drink almost exclusively Jaeger and vodka when I do liquor.
Yeah, of course, you're that generation. At the same time, I do love a vodka. It's my choice of drink. But having grown up in Scotland, I should enjoy whiskey more than I did do. I went to a whiskey tasting one time. Fucking hell, man. I couldn't believe the difference in every single whiskey that I tasted. Have you ever had a peaty whiskey?
A peaty whiskey?
It's like a smoked flamed whiskey. So it's like, honestly, it's like you're drinking a fucking fireplace. Have you ever had one of those?
No, I've had Jack Daniels, and that's about it.
Oh, fuck. We got to just definitely test your taste cards out here. Ken, we're on it. We'll have some whiskey at some point in our show. Let's go to Lydia back in. Welcome back, Lydia. Hey, guys, I haven't commented lately, but wanted you to know that you guys are still the best. But the war cry has to be done by Ian. Doesn't take anything away from Hot Coco. She is the shit. Her sexy voice and your war cry equals a hot marriage. Let's keep it that way. Buckets, your thoughts?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Wasn't ready for that one, Lydia. Thank you.
Hey, Lydia, the personal war cry, the war cry that nobody sees. Hot Coco loves it. Let's go to Salem. He says, I love hearing from your former teammates, Ian. It's always fun to see what you guys do in the show outside of the bets, changing the fucking game. And as Buckets and I like to say, creating our new fucking game. We're the new team here. We've got Craig Kelly jumping in and saying, Ian, were you ever close to playing for Scotland? And what's your thoughts on the Old Firm result this weekend and who will win the league in Scotland? Also, Scotland will win the Euros. Well, Craig, I grew up in Scotland, as you know. I almost played for Scotland schoolboys when I was 14, 15 years old. But unfortunately, in Scotland, the Scottish FA, it's very politically in-fucking correct. I made it to the last game. They played me for 2 minutes and then binned me. Unfortunately, the United States of America recognized that I had a passport, was born in California, and said, you know what? Come and play for the United States of America, which is always what I wanted to do anyway. So I probably wouldn't have played for Scotland, even though I would have played for Scotland schoolboys. There is your answer. Scotland, derby right now with Rangers and Celtic was a great game. Premiership is a battle. I don't know who's going to win. Who I'd like to see win, I don't really have a choice or a preference in both clubs. I just want to see great Scottish football. I want the best team to win. Right now, none of them are being better than the other, so I really don't know. Right now, it's hard to pick, and I'm sure, Buckets, you feel the same.
Yeah, it's hard to pick. If I had to choose one, though, I'm having Hearts of Midlothian win this league, but that's probably not at all possible. So I'm just going to say let the best man win.
And the other comment there was, of course, Scotland are going to win the Euros. They're going to beat Germany in the opening game of the tournament. Of course they are. 6-0. Let's go to Christopher Morris. He said, another banger of a show. Learned a new strategy this episode, so it looks like I'm already ahead. Buckets, Christopher is a loyal listener who fucking listens. Takes all the information, creates his own new bets, creates his strategy, winning.
He is the best kind of listener out there. I love every single loyal listener. I love all the freaks, but the people that take our information and use it to make their own wagers, it's something special right there, man.
Buckets, we know you like the females more than the men, okay? So just fucking be truthful out there. Let's go to Alvaro. He said, hey, Buckets, I'm preparing a very special package for you. Hey, Freya. Not the dirty kind. I hope you get it in a few weeks. It will be your number one gift. Are you kind of scared about that, Buckets?
It sounds like he's sending me a mail order bride, so I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I guess we'll see. I'm not sure.
Not again, Buckets. I know that you had a return package on the last one.
Yep.
Let's go to Nicholas Alsvine as the the last comment here. This is an interesting one, Buckets. Great show, guys. As a former Cobra Kai teammate to Buckets, I take offense to the Sunday Beer League for the third tier men's indoor winter league in Fort Wayne. I missed a few games he was in goal. However, eyewitnesses report and feedback on Buckets, his main objective during every match was to get into a fight, not win, not keep a clean sheet, but get into a fight. Now, John Bucketsheimer, that is the last comment of this week's show, Stoppage Time, from the loyal listeners. Explain yourself exactly what's going on here, because I thought I knew you, but apparently I don't.
You know parts of me. You know certain sides of me, Ian. You don't know the John Bucketsheimer that's on the pitch fighting for his boys. I played for Cobra Kai in the C tier of the indoor Fort Wayne Soccer League, a league in which I had more red cards and ejections than I had clean sheets. Listen, I'm a passionate man. I'm very loyal to my friends. So when I see someone take a dirty shot at one of my boys, Ian, I'll get kicked out every single time. I'm bigger than probably anyone on the pitch, so might as well use that, right?
See, people don't realize how big you are. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
What do you weigh now?
I'm bulking right now. I'm at 245 right now.
245, 6'4". Who the fuck's messing with you?
They're not messing with me. They're messing with my defenders. They're messing with my IPJs on the pitch. I got to do something.
Man, I wouldn't care if you're 7'5". I would have so much fun with you, especially with that haircut out there on the pitch, 20,000 fans around the stadium. I would be fucking ripping into you on that pitch, man. I'm telling you, some of the commentary that goes on the pitch, one of my favorite comments, right? We were playing against Manchester United. I was a kid at the time here. I was at Tranmere Rovers as a rookie playing against Manchester United. And of course, you know, there's not many fans in attendance, like 100 fans or something like that around the field watching. We're like 16, 17-year-old kids. And I'll never forget, we got into a scuffle on the field, and one of my Irish teammates, Peter Rogers, lunatic, great fucking guy, but lunatic. He ran straight up to the fucking kerfuffle that was going on, and he said the greatest line in fucking battle history I've heard on a football pitch. And he said, "Shut your face, you, or I'll roundhouse you." Do you know what a roundhouse is?
Oh, absolutely. I know what a roundhouse is. How do you, I mean, you got to respond to that by fighting, right? You can't just bounce that off.
Man, I thought it was the funniest comment ever. Shut your face or I'll roundhouse you. I was just like, that is the best. I used it one time when I went to Germany because nobody understood what the fuck I was saying. It's time for the Bundesliga whip around. It's match day 29 in the Bundesliga. Leverkusen top of the table, 76 points. They are an incredible 16 points away from Bayern Munich and Stuttgart, who are level on points now with the mighty Bayern. Leipzig are now in fourth place, Buckets, in the Bundesliga. Dortmund dropping points against Stuttgart last week are also on 53 points in fifth spot. So those two are battling it out when it comes to the Champions League. In the bottom half of the table, Darmstadt, well, they're truly fucked. Then we've got Cologne, who are fighting for their lives on 22 points. Mainz on 23 points. Bochum getting dragged back into it on 26. And Wolfsburg not too far away on 28 as well. 16-point clear, Buckets, with 6 games to go. Leverkusen are just 1 win away from their Bundesliga title. Leverkusen have dropped points only 4 times in the league this season and are yet to lose a single match in all competitions. It's the first time in their history they've done so, and only the second time by any club that they've reached match day 29 without defeat, which is absolutely crazy. Leverkusen just need 2 points for the remaining fixtures to take on the Meisterschale, the German title, which would be absolutely brilliant. They could even win it, and I'm going to break it down for you. So how Leverkusen can win the title this weekend. If Bayern Munich lose to Cologne on Saturday afternoon and Stuttgart lose to Frankfurt in the evening, Leverkusen, who play on Sunday, will be champions. If Bayern Munich and or Stuttgart win, and then victory for Leverkusen at home to Bremen on Sunday, they will still be crowned champions of the Bundesliga for the first time in their history on Sunday. The final one is Bayern and Stuttgart draw. Then a point will also be enough for Xabi Alonso's men to get the deal done. The games coming up on Friday: Augsburg against Union Berlin, Bayern Munich against Cologne, Bochum against Heidenheim, Gladbach against Dortmund, Mainz against Hoffenheim, Leipzig against Wolfsburg, Stuttgart against Frankfurt, Darmstadt against Freiburg, Leverkusen against Werder Bremen. Buckets, give me your scoreline predictions, please.
I'm going to say something bold here, Ian. I think that match day 29 will see the most goals by all these teams out of any match day we've seen so far. I think we have some absolute bangers, and I'm pretty much taking the over on everything. I'm starting with Augsburg versus Union Berlin. I'm taking 3-2 Augsburg. Bayern versus Cologne, 4-2 Bayern Munich. Mainz versus Hoffenheim, 3-1 Hoffenheim. Gladbach versus Borussia Dortmund, Dortmund 5-1 in that one. Big win for Jeff. See, we're friends, Jeff. You and me. Put happy emotes around me, not a sad bucket. VfL Bochum versus Heidenheim. I'm looking at a 2-2 draw. Leipzig versus Wolfsburg. I'm looking at a 4-1 win for Leipzig. Stuttgart versus Eintracht Frankfurt. I've got Stuttgart winning barely in this one, 2-1 to Stuttgart. Darmstadt to Freiburg. Sorry, Darmstadt. As Ian said, you guys are truly, truly just gone. I've got Freiburg winning this one, 3-1. And then Leverkusen, Werder Bremen. I've got Leverkusen winning 6-1, Ian.
Wow, you've gone for goals galore. Here's mine. Augsburg 2, Union Berlin 1, Bayern Munich 4, Cologne 1, Bochum 3, Heidenheim 2, goals galore in that game. Gladbach 1, Borussia Dortmund 2. I still got you, Jeff. Mainz 2, Hoffenheim 1, Leipzig 4, Wolfsburg 0, Darmstadt 1, Freiburg 0. Go on, Darmstadt, get that victory. And then here is the final one. Leverkusen 4, Werder Bremen 3. I think that Leverkusen win the league in the last kick of the game. I mean, Buckets, it's written in the stars. How many times have they won games in the last kick of the goddamn game?
Like 7 or 8 this season across all competitions. It's unreal. You're right about that.
3-3 going into 90 minutes. They need a win to win the title. Do you know who's going to step up? It's my player to watch, Florian Wirtz. He has 8 goals, 10 assists this season. What a player the 22-year-old is. I am going for him to be the match winner, to score that 4-3 goal and win the title for Leverkusen. I can see it right now. Who's your player to watch?
I was looking at the same match there, but I'm looking at Jonas Hoffmann for this Leverkusen side, just because he doesn't always get the respect he deserves. And usually his to score or assist line, Ian, is hovering around that plus 150, plus 200 mark. So looking at the same game for you.
You know who is back for Leverkusen that we haven't been speaking about because he just simply hasn't been playing because, of course, he's been injured? Do you know who's back?
No.
Oh, it's only the fucking leading goal scorer, Victor Boniface.
Oh, is he back?
He's just come back.
Oh,
like, they've won all these games. He's not even been in the team. He's still leading the goals. He's got 10 goals. He's their top goal scorer still. And he's missed, I don't know, 15 games. How crazy is that?
I forgot that they haven't lost yet this season, and they've been missing their best player, quote unquote, best goal scorer for about half the season now. That's crazy.
Arguably best player. Let's talk about the kid right now real quickly. The 20-year-old Florian Wirtz. All right, it is that time, Buckets. You ready?
Let's do it, man. I am ready for another good week here.
You know it wouldn't be an episode of Stoppage Time without our best bets from the betting expert, the blonde bombshell, the unicorn, and our betting expert, John Bucketsheimer. Buckets, it is going to be another beautiful week from you. I can feel it already. I want 7 best bets from you. One on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Next Wednesday, that bet must come from the Champions League. Even if you don't have a line yet, I need something from that game on Wednesday. Tuesday, I'll let you skip the Champions League because as we record, we don't know how the first legs have gone down. But just a reminder to everybody out there, here are the games. Tuesday, April 16th will be Barcelona against PSG, Dortmund at home to Atletico. And then, of course, it's the return legs from the games we saw previously in the first leg. Bayern Munich against Arsenal, tied at 2s. Manchester City against Real Madrid, tied at 3s. Buckets, let's begin with your best bet for Thursday.
Starting with my best bet for Thursday, we are going straight to the Europa League quarterfinal between Liverpool and Atalanta. And Ian, when I looked at this game, I know Atalanta just burnt us, but hear me out. When I looked at this game, I was prepared to do this bet at minus 150. I was going to say, hey guys, it's a little bit juiced on the line. I know it's not that fun, but trust me, blah, blah, blah. This line was plus 105, and that made me physically ill because I would have played this at minus 150. Liverpool versus Atalanta, a same game parlay of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals is plus 105. How dare the books ever give us that line at plus odds? This Liverpool side does not play defense because they don't have to play defense because they're beating teams 4-3, 6-1, 5-1, 3-1. Look at their recent form right now. Liverpool's last game, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, hit against Man United, hit against Sheffield United, hit against Brighton, hit against Man United in the FA Cup, hit in both legs against Sparta Praha, in which they won on aggregate scoring 11-2. I'm not saying Liverpool will lose this game, but the fact that both teams to score and over 2.5 goals with a squad this good offensively and this poor defensively, Ian, for me, this is an absolute no-brainer. And I will say right now, it is my favorite bet of the entire slate.
I love it. Obviously, I will be tailing that bet. And anytime you say both teams to score, I know it's a classic for you. So, of course, to me, it catches my attention. They have met in the previous edition of the Champions League in 2020. We'll call it the COVID edition of the Champions League. And do you know that both teams to score missed on both of those games?
I think it was 5-0 Liverpool in the first, 2-0 Atalanta in the second.
Yeah. How the fuck do you win 5-0 away from home and lose 2-0 at home? What the fuck's that all about? That is called a team not giving a shit in the second leg. Let's go to your best bet for Friday.
For my best bet, we are going to a team and a league that we don't really give a lot of credit to here. I'm going to La Liga. And when I say La Liga, people go, we're betting on Girona. Perfect. No. We're betting on the matchup between Real Betis or Betis, I never know how to say it, as they take on Celta Vigo. And I'm looking at this Real Betis side, who is usually a top 4, top 5 contender. But right now, they are absolutely floundering. 4 straight losses in a row. This team cannot put a win together to save their life, but they're scoring. They lost 3-2 to Girona. They beat Atletico Club 3-1. They lost to Atletico Madrid at 2-1. Got my wires crossed there. Basically, this is a team that is usually pretty good, but they're just not good enough now. But they're still scoring, which makes them a prime candidate for both teams to score at minus 120. Celta Vigo, on the other hand, is a team that is fighting a relegation battle. And anytime I see a team in that relegation zone, I know that they have to attack. They are only 3 points clear of Cadiz right now. They have to produce results, and they're actually doing that as they've only lost 1 in their last 5. But this is a team that is scoring and that is desperate for points, and this is a Celta Vigo team that would love to get a 1-1-2 draw out of this one, Ian.
Celta Vigo 2, Real Betis 1, Real Betis 3, Celta Vigo 4 in the last 2 head-to-head games between these 2 clubs. 2 great clubs as well. Real Betis are a phenomenal club, man. I love watching them play. I enjoy watching them play. Celta Vigo have got some real weapons at their disposal, but you only have to look at the goals for and goals against to see that this game will be interesting. Celta Vigo, as you pointed out, fighting against relegation. 32 goals scored, 44 goals conceded. And Real Betis, 36 goals scored, 36 goals conceded. That's ridiculous for a team who are in 8th place trying to get into a European contention. Love it, Buckets. Let's go to Saturday.
Saturday, I call this the I'm so sorry IPJ, can we still be friends wager? Because I respect you and I love you, which means that you will never see me betting on NYCFC. You won't see me betting on St. Pauli. I won't touch those teams. I get how important they are to you. But there is another club in New York, right? When we're looking at the MLS, and there is another team that I think is worth having a little bit of a wager. I'm looking at the New York Red Bulls taking on Chicago Fire, and I'm looking at a New York Red Bulls side that I was shocked to see is currently top of the Eastern Conference. 7 matches played, 4 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, 11 goals scored, and only 7 conceded. Thank you for the skull there, Ian. And New York Red Bulls are doing great. That's great to see. They're averaging about 1.5 goals per game. But Chicago Fire are why I'm betting this matchup. Chicago defensively is terrible. They have the second most goals conceded. I believe it's second most. No, sorry, most goals conceded in the Eastern Conference with 14 goals conceded in 7 matches. This is a team where defense is optional. The fact that I can get the best team in the Eastern Conference, New York Red Bulls, over 1.5 team total, Ian, at minus 135. I know you don't like the club, but at the very least, can you say whether you like that bet?
I have no comment. More on that game later on in the show.
Oh.
Let's go to your best bet for Sunday.
I wasn't expecting that, but fair enough. We will wait till later on in the show. For my best bet for Sunday, I'm going for, again, the MLS. I'm not saying I'm taking Hot Coco spot. I'm just saying that I'm learning to appreciate MLS, not the MLS, MLS. And I'm doing something cheeky here. I'm looking at the match between St. Louis FC versus Austin FC, and I'm doing the exact same thing I did for Paderborn versus Hertha Berlin last week. 2 wagers on this game, the exact same wager for each club. St. Louis over 1.5 team total at -150. Austin over 1.5 total at +175. Ian, I know that you are a big fan of head-to-head history. Well, let me just read off the last 3 matches between these 2 clubs. 2-2 draw, 6-3 win for St. Louis, 3-2 win for St. Louis. Both teams have scored at least 2 in all 3 of their last head-to-head matchups. And these are just 2 clubs in general that are playing in a very tack-heavy and free-flowing form of soccer right now. Austin coming off of that big 4-3 win versus San Jose. Before that, 2 win over FC Dallas, 2-2 draw against Philadelphia, 2-2 draw against St. Louis already this season. This is a team, again, I have a theme here. I'm focusing teams that are not prioritizing defense, but are saying, hey, as long as we score 3 goals, we can concede 2 here in the same fashion. Ian, a little bit risky because there is a +175 there, but I love goals in this matchup too.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty interesting, that bet, Buckets. I mean, you have so many goals head-to-head, and those are the only 3 games they've ever played because St. Louis is only newly founded football club and Austin not too far behind them as well. I'm actually going to stay away from this bet, only because I don't trust either of these teams right now. I would expect St. Louis to be the team to hit their overs, but I don't know about Austin. Obviously watched it again this past weekend, one of the best games in Major League Soccer history. They played against San Jose. It was 4-3, but it was an absolutely wild game. And producer Jeff was actually working on that game. It was fucking crazy. I was sitting there watching it. I was listening to my mate Warren Barton call the game with Mark Followell. Both of them really good friends and close people to me. And I had never heard them so excited in a Major League Soccer game than this one before. It was insane. But the game deserved it, and great commentary, great production as well from that game. But I really do believe that Austin right now are so vulnerable. I don't know which Austin's actually going to turn up on the day. I know they recently lost away from home against Orlando 2-0, but they have already played against St. Louis already this season, as you pointed out. 2-2 it finished earlier on. So I'm really intrigued to see how this game will play. I just don't know, and I don't trust it. So I'm going to stay away from it. Let's go to Monday.
And that is fair. You are allowed to do that because you're betting responsibly, which we love to see, Ian. But I think you're really going to love this next wager. I'm looking at the matchup in the Portuguese Premier Division between FC Vizela taking on GD Chaves. And when you're looking at this matchup, it's a weird one because you have the 2 worst attacking teams in all of Portugal, and I'm betting on them both to attack and both to score goals here. Both teams to score at -120 in a game with 2 teams that are not scoring goals. It's a weird way to take this, but you have the 17th and 18th team on the table, last and second to last on the table. 2 teams fighting in that relegation battle, 2 teams desperate to do something or anything, and 2 teams that have the 2 worst defenses in all of Portugal. Chaves has played 28 games. They've only won 4. They've scored 27 times in those 28 games, but they've also conceded a massive 60 goals. They have a -33 goal differential. Vizela, not a whole lot better. 4 wins in their 28 matches, 28 goals scored, 1 more, and 59 conceded. These are 2 clubs that have to do something, and they have to do something this week. This is the chance to have a massive 6-point swing if either team can win. But I don't know if either team can win because they're going to be playing this a little bit desperate, a little bit cheeky here. But both teams score at -120 for 2 teams that have to score, Ian. I'll take that every time in a relegation battle.
Yeah, they're pretty much fighting a losing battle, both of these teams. It's more for pride than it is for anything else. I know there's an opportunity to get away. Portimonense not too far away from them. But if you go look at the goals against in this league, and this is the first time I'm looking at it for a while, at the bottom half of the table, it's ridiculous how many goals these teams are conceding. Chaves have conceded 60 goals. Vizela have conceded 59. Portimonense have conceded 60. And that's the bottom 3. Then you go into Estrel. They've conceded 43. Gil Vicente 44. Estoril 49. I mean, you can go up to 11th place where Boa Vista have conceded 53 goals and scored only 33. Like, apparently no one wants to defend in the Portuguese league. I love that bet. That's pretty awesome. Let's go to your next bet. And it is on Tuesday, right?
We're on Monday right now.
Let's go to Monday.
Monday, we are on the matchup between, I'm going to make sure that I did that right real quick. Boop, doop, doop. Oh, damn it, Ian. Oh, no. Oh, no. You know what I just did?
You chose a game that was on Sunday.
I have 2 Monday games for us and no Tuesday game for us because...
Wow. Wow. That's okay. You know what we're going to do? You're going to give us this bet for Monday. You're also going to give us a second bet for Monday. Okay. And I'm going to challenge you live on our show because what I will do is I will give my bet before we get to your bet for Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm going to challenge you to come up with a bet while we're live, and I'm giving my bet. Deal?
Yeah, so I have to find a Tuesday bet while we're doing this live after I give my Monday bet?
Yes, I want to. No, well, because you've got nothing for Monday, right? Or you've got 2 for Monday.
So the Chavez game was Monday, and this next one's Monday as well.
Love it. Right, so give us this next bet. I'll give you my best bet. While I'm giving mine, you've got to find one for Tuesday. Deal?
I love that. Yeah, let's do it. Let me get my
Challenge accepted.
Oh, I love this. Let me get my Monday bet out for everyone here. I'm looking at the Argentina Primera División and a fantastic matchup happening at 7 p.m. between Argentinos Juniors taking on Barracas Central. This is the final match day 14 of 14 in the first phase of the Argentina division. And right now, at the top of the group, you've got Argentinos Juniors with 25 points, and you've got Barracas Central with 25 points. You've also got River Plate with 24, Talleres Cordoba with 23, Independiente with 22, and Velez Sarsfield with 22. This is a very tight group. There's only 3 points separating first from sixth, which means that every team has to win these games, especially in the last match day. And I'm looking at the battle between the top 2 here, Ian, and I'm going to keep it very simple. We have 2 of the best offensive powerhouses in Argentina. I don't want to overthink this one. Over 2.5 goals is minus 105, and for me, that is a must play. What you're worried about in this matchup is how long will it take to get that first goal. If we get a goal in the first half, I think this over hits easily. I think that as soon as one team goes behind here, it's going to force them to be aggressive, force them to attack. It could turn into a very physical slugfest that sees a 2-2 or 3 score line. Now, if it's 0-0 at halftime, that gets a little bit tricky, but I got to take the over almost even money here, Ian. For me, it's a no-brainer.
I'm staying away from it, Buckets. Do you know why?
Tell me.
I have been covering the Argentinian league most recently, and I am disappointed at the lack of quality when it comes to offensive firepower in the Argentina Copa de lo Profesional, or whatever the fuck it's called. No disrespect to Argentinian fans out there, but I have no idea how the season works. They play 7 seasons inside 1 season. Who's playing who? I don't know. What league is this? I don't know. They don't even know what league they're playing in. It separates. It plays this. They play Copa. Like, I don't understand it, and I've been covering it for months now, and I'm still trying to understand it. So I go to a couple of my friends who follow Argentinian football, and I'm like, can you explain it to me, how this works in Argentinian football? And you know what they said to me? I have no idea how it works. That's an Argentinian telling me that they don't know how it works. But I'm actually disappointed with the quality, the finishing quality, the true quality of players in the final third in the Argentinian league. I'm honestly disappointed with what I have seen. So therefore, I am going to fade your bet, but hope that you cash it, because it has every chance. In these games, anything can happen. And as you pointed out, these are the 2 best teams right now in their respective division. Now, Buckets, challenge has been accepted. I love hearing your keyboard click away while I am talking. Off you go. Go and get that bet for Tuesday while I am giving out my best bet for this weekend. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. My best bet for this weekend, it is called Hearts, Glorious Hearts. This one is for you, Paul Ritchie, loyal listener out there, legend of the beautiful game, and someone who's been following us pretty closely and also tailing some wagers out there. Paul, thank you very much for your support. I am on Heart of Midlothian against Livingston this weekend. Hearts minus 265 on the money line. Livingston plus 650 on the money line. I'm doing a same game parlay. Hearts money line, over 1.5 total goals. Lawrence Shankland, anytime goal scorer. For those loyal listeners out there who are loyal listeners from a generation ago, this is called the Superstar Bet. It's back, baby. It's plus 100 on all of the sports books out there. Obviously, a lot needs to go right for us to hit a bet like this, but I do feel pretty good about it. Let me explain why. Hearts, they're in 3rd place. They've won 18. They've drawn 5. They've lost 9. They've scored 42. They've conceded 32 goals. At home this season, they've won 8, drawn 5, lost 3, scored 22, let in 14 goals. Now, that's not necessarily the reason why I'm going for this bet, because I think Hearts, who are chasing to lock up that 3rd place in the Scottish Premiership, the reason why I'm going for this bet is because of Lawrence Shankland. He has become a hero to myself and John Bucketimer because he's been scoring goals for fun, but he's also a bit of a fucking legend as well. He has scored 20 of the club's 42 goals this season. which is absolutely incredible. He recently played for Scotland versus the Netherlands. I know he was criticised for that performance. I watched it. Scotland obviously lost miserably against the Netherlands. But then he also took a break after coming back from international duty, and he missed a game against St. Mirren. Of course, they went on to win that game, the Jam Tarts. But at the same time, he's back now, and two other players are back now as well. Buckets, I am on the superstar bet. I'm looking at Hearts money line over 1.5. Lawrence Shankland anytime, plus 100. Your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are that it's the superstar bet, which makes it the easiest bet on the planet for me to tail, because while I was listening, and I love Hearts, I love Lawrence Shankland, I love everything about that, even if I wasn't listening, if you would have just said superstar bet, I would have tailed it. I would have texted you right after the show and said, hey, what was that bet? Boom, I'm in. But no, I absolutely love it. Hearts are one of my favorite teams right now. We've made money on them time and time again. I feel like we got to keep taking them.
I got something for you, Buckets, and the loyal listeners out there. There is a comment or a song that's out there in the game, the beautiful game. It's like, who ate all the pies? Who ate all the pies? You fat bastard, you ate all the pies. They used to sing that at like soccer games out there to players who were overweight. They would say, you ate all the pies. Because going to a game in Scotland, you'd get a pie and a bovril, which is like a drink, a hot drink out there, or a cup of tea. But you'd have a pie at a game. It was just something you did. I used to do it with my dad, go watch the games, used to go watch St. Johnstone local to us, which was great. But this is brilliant. Apparently, Lawrence Shankland ate all the pies. Listen to this and take a photograph here. Hearts Lawrence Shankland made Hibernian fans swallow their jeers when he caught a pie that was hurled at him after he scored a penalty kick. He then took a bite of the pie and threw it back. His manager, Stephen Naismith, later condemned the idiots who threw a host of objects at the striker, reportedly including a bottle opener, a lightener, a pair of Apple AirPods, as he waited to take Hearts' equalising penalty in their 1-1 Scottish Premiership draw at home to Hibs. Now, this game was a few weeks ago, but at the same time, John Bucketsheimer caught the pie midair, took a bite of it, and threw it back at the Hibs fans. I think he's even more of a legend now.
No, he's more of a legend, and there's just more reason to bet on him now, because you got to love a player that has that type of attitude about him to where he's like, hell yeah, I'll do this. Also, who's throwing AirPods at players? What? What? I don't get that.
There's something you need to understand about Hearts and Hibs. Let's just say they fucking hate each other. At some point, we'll get our friend Paul Ritchie on the show to explain. He played for Hearts. He's played for some big clubs, including Manchester City, now living in the United States, enjoying our content on Stoppage Time. Very, very good friend, and very, very good player in his day. He was brilliant, and certainly one of the best that we've ever produced in Scotland, that's for sure. So we'll get him on to explain that type of a rivalry, because there's hatred in there. You think that fucking Rangers and Celtics the only rivalry? No, there are multiple rivalries in Scotland, and Hearts and Hibs is one of the most ferocious out there. Buckets, I challenged you to find a wager while we were live on air. Did you find one?
I did, but I have to tell everyone right now, as Ian just talked about how he's not a fan of the Argentina Copa de Liga Profesional. That is the only league that is currently giving us wagers for next Tuesday on sportsbooks right now. So I do have to go back to that same league that Ian just said is kind of a pain in the ass, but I'm a man of my word. I found us a Tuesday wager. I'm looking at a matchup between a historic club here in Argentina, Boca Juniors, taking on Godoy Cruz here. And right now, Boca Juniors are a favorite, understandably, because they are at home. Boca Juniors are a tremendous club, but they're a club that is struggling a little bit right now. They're currently fourth on the table in Group B, a record of 6-4-2. Not the craziest record, and not really the best stats either. Only 19 goals scored in 12 games, 11 goals conceded. They've been an all-right club this season, and they're playing a Godoy Cruz team who is currently 9-2-2 with 16 goals scored and only 5 goals conceded. Right now, this Godoy Cruz team is currently a plus 320, which is going to confuse people because they don't lose a lot. However, remember, this is the last match day, which means that Godoy Cruz has already wrapped up this group. They are 6 points ahead of everyone. I would not be shocked if we saw Godoy play some backups, kind of treat this game not as intensely as they normally would, because really the result doesn't matter here for Godoy. However, it matters a whole lot for Boca, who need to make sure they get points in this matchup because they do not want to fall behind teams like Racing Club and Estudiantes. They still have a game in hand, but right now Boca have to produce a result. Ian, I'm keeping this one easy. I'm going Boca Junior on the money line. It's minus 115 in this matchup. A money line play is not what I usually love to play, but with how good Godoy defensively is and how many of their games end 1-0, I wouldn't be shocked if Boca win this one 1-0.
Golf clack for John Bucket Timer right there. A live bet found on air while we're recording our show. Ooh. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you as the talent you are becoming and the person you are. Obviously, you are the best soccer capper out there in the business. There is no question about that. Anyone out there who's watching our show, Stoppage Time, you're probably stealing from John Bucket Timer, whether you're a loyal listener. But if you're a betting capper out there, you're probably stealing his information and creating your own bets, which is exactly what we want you to do. But I would take from the best as well, and I have done so. But Buckets, I'm really proud of how you managed to just go about finding that moment of magic, and I am actually going to tail that bet because Boca Juniors only the one loss in the last 9 games. They're a club that's found form once again, and I know it's a top of the table clash with Boca trying to get back near the top of the table, and how the league separates is fucking weird. At the same time, they're in form right now, so it's hard to bet against them, especially at home. Love the bet. Love how you did it. Love how you created it. Very proud of you. I put you on the spot. You shone through. Let's go to your best bet for Wednesday.
Death, taxes, and not betting on Bayern Munich is broken. There are no more guarantees in the world beside death and taxes. Let's talk about Bayern Munich because, Ian, this is a conversation you and I have had multiple times. The Bayern Munich we see domestically this season versus the Bayern Munich we see in Champions League, these are just two entirely different clubs. I was fully expecting as a Bayern Munich supporter to be down in this first leg. I was ready to say, hey, we're down 2-1, we're down 3-1. That's okay. We bring it back to home and maybe we can have a fighting chance. But no. Now Bayern Munich get to bring this back home even on goals. There's no away goal rule. There's none of that. It is all about the second leg. You are going to have some of the rowdiest Bavarian supporters you have ever seen as they had to miss that first leg back in front of their home fans, supporting this club and playing with a Harry Kane side, which we've talked about, knows how to score against Arsenal. I truly believe that Arsenal missed their chance to get out of this tie. I think that Arsenal will not qualify. I think my boys will do the job. But more importantly, I think the boys will cover this draw no bet wager. Bayern Munich, draw no bet, Ian, minus 115 against Arsenal. Worst case scenario in this leg, maybe this ends into draw. It goes into penalties. Whatever has to happen, that is fine. But you cannot give me draw no bet at minus 115 after that first leg performance, knowing all the things we know about coming back to their second leg back at Allianz Arena. I think Bayern Munich went outright, but I'll always take a safety net at playable odds at minus 115, Ian.
It's pretty scary, some of the lines right now, and it tells you how close these games actually are. And obviously, when you witness the games that we have witnessed in the first legs, 2-2, obviously in that game, 3-3 in the Real Madrid game against Manchester City, it's very difficult to predict what can actually happen in those second legs. But I do feel that definitely in the second leg, having it at home, understanding what you need to do to get through one single game gives you an advantage being in front of your home fans. Love the bet, tailing the bet, force a Bayern. Let's fucking go, man. I love it. I think they win comfortably against Arsenal. I'm with you. But let's not forget, Arsenal went to Manchester City recently in a massive game in the Premier League and put a masterclass defensive performance out. They could do the same again. I don't see it, but they could do the same again. So please, everybody, that's why we warn you to bet responsibly. Buckets, that's great. Go ahead.
And that's actually why I took the draw no bet, because originally I was going to take Bayern Munich 1.5 team total and saying, hey, they might not win, but they should get 2. But I wouldn't be shocked if Arsenal's game plan is sit way back and see how long they can keep things close. It's why I went draw no bet instead of team total.
Love it. You ready for Hot Coco's best bet?
Yeah, let's go 6-1, Hot Coco.
She's on fire. She's 5-1 from the last 6 bets. Here is Hot Coco with this weekend's Major League Soccer best bet.
Hey everyone, as you can see, I'm currently repping an LAFC jersey in honor of last week's pick. Congrats to everyone that helped me and cashed those tickets. This week, however, I'm hoping to help you find your wings. Your Red Bull wings, that is. New York Red Bulls will be hosting Chicago at home, where they're currently undefeated. They are also sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference table. The pick I'm going for is the same game parlay, Red Bulls money line, as well as over 1.5 total goals. This should put you at minus 115. If you want a juicier bet, however, I would do a laddering. I would do a full unit on this and half a unit on Red Bull's money line and over 2.5 total goals. That will put you at plus 140. I had a look at the last 6 games both teams have played, and they have each hit over 2.5 total goals, 5 out of the 6 games each. So this could be a really fun laddering opportunity, and I really hope I can help you all find your wings.
God damn! Oh my God!
Now
All
you're
right.
gonna golf clap.
First and foremost, we'll talk about the bet before we do anything else. Buckets, your thoughts on New York Red Bulls over 1.5 total goals against Chicago Fire? Obviously, I heard what you said earlier on in the show. Just your initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts is I love everything about that. It gives me confidence in my bet to put an extra unit on my wager, but I'm gonna take her advice. I'm gonna ladder this game now.
I think she's learning from you, being able to ladder it as well. I mean, I'm really impressed. Obviously, New York Red Bull are off to a great start so far under Sandro Schwarz. He is a former Mainz coach, if I'm not mistaken, Hertha Berlin. I mean, he's been around the Bundesliga for a minute. I think he went over to Russia. He was coaching there for a minute. But since he's arrived at New York Red Bull, he's lost only 1 game from the 7. He has won 4, drawn 2. He's off to a great start right now in his career in Major League Soccer. And this is a big opportunity for him to really get his career going in North America and potentially be involved in the Red Bull system going forward. Because what I'm seeing right now is that if you do well at New York Red Bull, potentially you go to Leipzig. I mean, that's a possibility right there. But they're scoring goals. They're looking great. Over 1.5 total goals, New York Red Bulls against Chicago Fire. I mean, I honestly think that this could have both teams scoring in it, but I just find it hard to think that New York Red Bulls don't score 3 or 4 goals in this game. Buckets, your thoughts?
I'm right there with you. Yeah, this might be, even if you're not laddering the money line and over in goals, maybe you ladder the both teams to score and over. There's a lot of different angles to attack this game, but I'm with you and I'm with Hot Coco. Just take goals in this one.
Just going to throw it out there. You know the hat she wore at the end there?
That was tough.
Dude, she was wearing that hat when I first met her. She had that fucking hat. I've seen it before. Take a look at this. She was wearing this hat when she came back from a trip because she previously worked for Red Bull. And as you can see there, wearing the cowboy hat, she rocked it in the airport. I met her in the airport rocking that fucking hat, Buckets. I knew I'd seen it somewhere before. Now, let me just point out there that New York Red Bull don't play in New York. They play in New Jersey. So I'm just going to fucking point that out there to everybody. At the same time, she has a history with Red Bull, so I think she kind of favors them slightly, even though we've got season tickets to NYCFC, and she has this history with Red Bull. Look, there she is. She was a Red Bull girl, and she did promos, and she was a big part of Red Bull as they were growing in the United States of America. She did a lot of cool events. She was fucking all over it. But I seem to think that Hot Coco's forgotten exactly who is number 1 in New York. Yeah, that's right. NYCFC, baby. The only champion in New York for a Major League Soccer franchise or a club is my NYCFC. She doesn't get her hands on that trophy if New York City Football Club don't win. Look at that ring I'm wearing, baby. That thing's like $100 million right there. That is a championship ring from 2021. And of course, Hot Coco came to the event. And now all of a sudden, we're supporting the New York Red Bulls for a wager. Fucking hell, man. I'm making a new rule here, Buckets. Okay? Yep. You're no longer allowed to bet on any of the teams I love. But now, Hot Coco, you're no longer available to bet on the enemy either. Fuck that. I don't want to hear that shit. I mean, come on, man. What do you think, Buckets?
I know you're upset, but I just want to say how proud I am of Hot Coco because she is betting with her wallet and not her heart. She is finding value for the users and the viewers, regardless of, what problems it might cause in the bedroom. So Hot Coco, I respect what you're doing. Great wager.
Problems in the bedroom has never been anything that's actually came up in my life, Buckets. Keep your own personal life out of my relationship, okay? Jeff, could you please just put that picture back up of me holding the trophy with Hot Coco while I'm discussing real quickly why I love NYCFC? Because we have been through hell and back. We may be going through a bit of hell once again. I will be there this weekend with some friends of ours. We're going to the game, got some pretty cool seats. You might be able to see us if you watch the feed on the game. I'll be there, sideline, next to the benches, cheering my team on. And I'm quietly confident Hot Coco will be cheering as well. But I am proud of her, because I know how much time she takes to find her bets, and I know how much time she takes to, or dedication to make sure that she feels confident about a bet before she brings it to the loyal listeners. She's been tempted to take a break, but when she feels it, she fucking feels it. Like she's feeling that trophy right there. She's got a smile on her face. She feels pretty fucking goddamn good, like she does about this bet as well. So Hot Coco is on New York Red Bulls plus the over 1.5 total goals. You can ladder it as well if you're looking for plus numbers, but everybody bet responsibly right there. Minus 115 is our pick. It's a pretty nice line, Buckets, considering how hot New York Red Bulls are.
Yeah, no, I'm tailing. I'm probably tailing for more than one unit. It's a Hot Coco MLS pick. She's done the research, so you don't have to. Just have some fun with it. You
recently put out a tweet on X or Twitter or whatever the fuck it's called now, and you basically said, I'm so proud of what we've achieved with Stoppage Time. We are over 100,000 views on our show Stoppage Time on YouTube alone since the reboot. We've only done fucking 14 shows, and this is episode number 15, which is crazy. Over 100k views, 3,000 likes, 900 comments. We are now changing the game and creating our new space, our own space when it comes to soccer betting and entertainment content. Buckets, I'm very proud of what we've achieved here, but having those types of numbers, I never thought possible so quickly. I know producer Jeff has changed the game for us. The content is the best it's ever been for us, and I'm so proud of what we've done together as a group, and long may it continue. But this is the beginning of a very special journey, one feels.
Absolutely, one feels that. And I'd be curious to see where in the journey we'd be at without producer Jeff, because originally I was making the thumbnails and we weren't doing any fun edits, and it was kind of just like, here you go, enjoy. But regardless of what we have now, we are so lucky to have you, Jeff. Ian, we have always been doing something special with the show because we have been creating something that is more about the betting content. Yes, we're in the betting space. Yes, we both love a good wager, but we both love the community that we have created together. And we are both here to support and help grow this community above all else.
Yeah, and speaking of growth, I just wanted to point out something. Obviously, us trying to change the game, bringing producer Jeff on and making sure that you got the best possible content out there and the best visuals, right? The graphics are amazing. What Jeff does and how he sees it, he just sees it better than everybody else. He's just so creative. But we also like to make sure that we challenge ourselves. I wanted to see more female viewership, right? That's what I wanted to see challenge-wise. And Buckets, you don't know this, but my creative brain goes to, okay, I'm going to do something with Hot Coco here. I'm going to introduce Hot Coco. We'll try and enjoy a few wagers. Didn't realize she was going to go 5-1 and make us look silly. But at the same time, it's very good for us because now we're starting to see the female viewership get better. At one point, it was 0.025 percentage of viewers were females. Now we're creeping on some of our episodes as close to 5% of our views being females. I'm seeing more females jump in the comments. That's really important to me, that we're very diverse and we make sure it's a safe space, not only for our male counterparts out there, but the female viewership to really enjoy this space as much as possible because it's needed in the betting space.
It's absolutely needed in the betting space. And it's been a long time now. I've been in this space for multiple years to where it's kind of felt like almost a boys club. It's like, yeah, me and the guys getting together to watch the game and to bet on the blah, blah. And that's not how this space should be. That's not how any space should be, right? We want to make the space open and safe to as many people that want to be a part of it. If you love sports and if you love a good wager, that is all that matters to me. I do not care your gender. I do not care your race, your sexual orientation. None of that matters to me. We are here to celebrate the love of the beautiful game and to grow in the space together.
Yeah, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you like. Obviously, YouTube needs that numbers to grow. We want to make sure we get to 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. It's kind of slowing down recently, so if you could share the show, we'd appreciate the fuck out of that. I have noticed that there's a lot of people who are watching the show have not subscribed to our show. It's almost 50% of people out there who watch it, they're not subscribed. So please make sure you subscribe to the show, share the show, like the show as much as you possibly can. We would appreciate that. Make sure you're following us on social media as well, because we're doing pretty well. We're doing a great job. Over 4,000 followers on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck it's called. We're almost at 5,000, which is great. So watch and share as much as you possibly can. Keep the comments coming. They get me pretty excited. I'm not going to lie. We love to hear from you, even if it's just to say hello. Let us know where you're from, what your team is, what your favorite wager is. It doesn't matter. Jump in the comments. As many comments. I'd love to see 4 million comments on there. Keep jumping in the comments as much as possible. Just continue to do that. But like, subscribe, share share the show as much as you possibly can. Now, Buckets, before we go out of here, obviously we talk a lot about mental health on our show Stoppage Time because it's our safe space here. We both obviously have been through periods in our life where we talk about mental health more. It's influenced our life in one way or another, good and bad, but it's been a difficult week for you. I know yesterday was a pretty sad day for you. First and foremost, I want to let you know that I'm here for you. The Stoppage Time community is also here for you. But we are also here to make sure that we continue to raise awareness and the importance of discussing your mental health to make sure that we make the world a safer place for everybody out there.
I wrote up a script of what I wanted to talk about when we were going to talk about this mental health thing. And to be honest, it didn't feel right. I figure whatever I say, I'm going to say, and it's going to be coming from the heart. And that's what matters here, because Ian and I talk about mental health damn near every episode, right? And it's something that I will never get talking about or never get tired talking about, because it's something that we can never overstate how important it is to take care of your mental health, to check on those around you, to just, be there to support your friends and to remember that you're not alone, right? And I'm not going to go into crazy details, but I had a friend this past week who ended up taking their own life. Someone that I was very close with, someone that just a week ago I was talking to that seemed like they were fine, right? They were a happy person. We were laughing. We were having conversations. Everything seemed totally normal. Just a week later to lose that person from my life. And I'm not going to go into any detail. I'm not going to say her name. I've been talking to the family. We're going to keep that all out of it. But it's just a reminder that no matter how happy someone might seem on the outside, that doesn't always mean it's the same on the inside, right? It's very easy to put on a smile, and it's very easy to kind of float through life telling everyone, I'm okay, don't worry about me. But we can't see the battles that people are fighting. We can't see the demons that are in each and every one of us, right? We can only pretend to know what we know, and we can only see what people allow us to see. So I just want to tell everyone to check in on your friends. I don't care how happy they seem. I don't care how put together their life is. Take that extra step and that extra effort to just say, hey, I'm here for you. Hey, how's your job going? How's work? How's the family? Like, we cannot be supportive of each other enough in this space. So just be there for each other, love each other, give your parents a hug, tell your friends you love them. And I don't know, man, it's sad to see someone, my age or any age go this soon. Sorry, I'm keeping it together here, but it's getting close. So
yeah. No, listen, well said, Buckets. And we will never, ever stop raising the awareness of mental health and the battle against sometimes depression and creating this awareness about mental health and making sure that you open up and speak about it, because it's so important to all of us. I mean, it's not just myself and you, it's to Hot Coco. It's also to producer Jeff. It is really important that we continue to discuss mental health and making sure we raise awareness and make people feel comfortable. Let's not forget, Buckets, that we are in a betting space, that we talk about bets and wagers, and we understand that mental health obviously can be affected very quickly if you're not betting responsibly. It's just why we always talk about betting responsibly out there, because it can affect your mental health and it can put you into a dark place if you're not careful. So betting responsibly is so vitally important. But for everybody out there, there is also this stigmatism about people who are betting, and they're also stereotyped about who they are. And I don't want that. I want people who enjoy placing a wager, because let's face it, people out there who are placing a wager are maybe trying to find some sort of entertainment. They're trying to find some sort of break from their everyday life that can put some joy into their life. And of course, if you lose, it can never be easy. But if you win, it can be a really great feeling. It can just brighten up your day that little bit. But that's why you bet responsibly, because protecting yourself when you do lose. But me and Buckets are here to create our show Stoppage Time, to basically create some entertainment for you, to take your day and make it a better one, to maybe make sure what you're going through, which has been a difficult time to a lot of people out there, and put some joy in your life, to put a smile on your face. We want to be able to create an environment where you are safe to come to, comment, to obviously like and subscribe and share our show, but also comment in a safe environment where you will not be criticized for what you say, for what you do. You want to place a wager? Yes, absolutely do that. Do it responsibly. But you're in a safe space with us. No one's criticizing you here, and you're here to be entertained, and we understand that. We'll continue to produce wagers, but we will also continue to produce entertainment for you to make your day a better one. But this battle against depression, suicidal thoughts, whatever it may be, going through mental illness, will never stop. We will always continue to do so because I'll be honest with you, everybody knows me now who's been following from day one of Stoppage Time over 18 months ago now, Buckets. Me and Buckets talk about our mental health, and it comes up occasionally about our own personal mental health. And for me, it's a daily battle. I talk about it. I have a therapist. I'm happily confident to explain to everybody out there that I do speak to a therapist often. People out there look at me and see energy, smiles, happiness. It's not like that all the time. I do have a soulmate, Hot Coco, who has to listen to a lot of my bullshit. But we're a team, and we're a team here for you as well. If you don't have someone to talk to, remember your Stoppage Time family is there for you. And as far as I'm concerned, always, always protect yourself and your loved ones. As Buckets pointed out, don't be frightened to go and have a conversation with a friend, with a neighbor, someone you see that maybe is a bit lonely or going through sometimes. Have a discussion, have a conversation, invite them to talk and open up. And sometimes you don't know, sometimes you don't hear. So don't expect that what you see on the outside is exactly what's going on the inside. Be kind to people out there, be friendly, make sure you make a difference because that's why we're here, Buckets.
That's exactly why we're here. Yes, the betting is fun. Yes, the entertainment is great, but ultimately we're here to be there for you. We are kind of, it wasn't meant this way, but we're almost a support system, right? As Ian mentioned, we give people that outlet. This is an hour every week in which you can just turn off all the noise, all the bullshit you're seeing on the news, all the nonsense you're seeing all over the world. You can lock in with us for 1 hour and just have some fun and talk about the beautiful game, talk about my dating life, talk about whatever it is that brings you entertainment. We're here for you guys, and you are never, ever alone. So please do not forget that.
Well, there's no easy transition from a serious topic like this, and I don't like to make fun of it, but seeing as though Buckets opened the door, we might as well sort of do a transitional period. First and foremost, I'm going to ask you what you're up to this weekend, what you're getting up to. I know there's a lot of games going on. I will be going to NYCFC this weekend with a lot of my friends. Hot Coco's coming as well. No fucking kids, which should be absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to NYCFC putting out a good performance this weekend against New England Revolution. Buckets, what are you up to?
This is probably the first weekend in a very long time, Ian. I have absolutely no plans. I'm going to watch football. I'm going to go hiking with Freya. I'm going to maybe play video games. Who knows? I'm keeping it very low key, and I'm just resting this weekend.
Seeing as though you opened up the door just that moment ago about your dating life, is there any update on Buckets' dating life that you can provide to the loyal listeners out there that so demand an update?
All right, Jeff, get ready with the big drum roll, as we prep for the Is There a Dating Life update? No, dating life update. Big X's all across the screen. I'm just doing me right now. Ian, between you and me, I'm not even on the dating apps right now. I'm just I'm going to the gym. I'm taking care of myself. I'm taking care of the dog. I'm just living my best single life right now.
You do realize when you say between you and me in front of 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people, it's not just between me and you, right?
Fair. Between you and me and 5,000 of our closest friends here.
Listen, obviously it was a bit more of a difficult and maybe a less energetic closing to our show, but I want everybody out there to bet responsibly, and the importance of betting responsibly is to what we were just talking about as we end our show. Buckets, our thoughts to you, obviously, as you're going through a difficult time. It's not easy, but I want you to have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Have a lot of good times with Freya this weekend and spend time with your loved ones. I will be out there with Hot Coco, but we will be out here cashing tickets with everybody out there. I can't wait to do that because I know that it's important to everybody out there to cash tickets with us. Stoppage Time. We're changing the game. We're creating a new game. We're enjoying ourselves in the process as well. But I want to send love to everybody out there because, yeah, it's a crazy world that we're living in right now, but not as crazy as what I saw recently. You know what I saw, Buckets? I saw an eclipse. Did you hear about that?
I was in the zone of totality here in good old Dublin, Ohio.
What did you think about the eclipse?
I didn't watch it. All I know is that allegedly 2 million people came to the state of Ohio around my city to watch it, and I forgot all about it.
I was on the golf course playing my first round in 18 months, and Hot Coco gave me a pair of glasses to take around on the golf course. So once I was heading up the 7th fairway, I had these fucking glasses on, turning around looking at the sun, eclipse, and moon. It was fucking amazing, man. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, but at the same time, weird.
I was watching the Udinese game. I was sitting in my bedroom, game up on my phone, just hanging out, and I was like, "Why is it so damn dark out?" Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Hey, listen, love you, brother. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much for the bets this week, and good luck to Leverkusen this weekend, who are looking to win their first ever Bundesliga title. Hopefully, by the time we do our show again, everybody out there can enjoy. We do have a lot of great things coming up for everyone, and I also took myself out of my comfort zone recently, and I did an article with a fashion magazine. We will be discussing that on the next episode of Stoppage Time. I can't wait to share it with everybody out there. But taking myself out of my comfort zone is something I enjoy doing, Buckets. I can't wait to show it to you and our loyal listeners. But everybody out there, not a crazy habit to close the show, because of course it's been the longest show we've ever fucking done. It's going to be a quiet one today. Just make sure everybody out there this weekend absolutely have it.